You'll hear it in Nashville. It's like, are they a good hang? I was willing to go sleep in my car, and I was 2 days before I was going to be out of my apartment. And the address was a half a mile up from the Barnes & Noble that I used to sit at every day. Because once you callous that, like whatever that is,
there's no going back.
There's no going back.
Hey, welcome back to the Creatively Connected podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rippy, and today we are with a very special guest, a world traveler, an optimist, a father, tour manager, and all-around creative, and my friend, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Knowles. How you doing, brother?
Yo, thanks for having me, bro.
Man, I'm glad we got to sit down and do this. Me and Adam haven't really known each other for that long, but we've known of each other for a little while, and we sat down probably 4 or 5 months ago and had coffee and chatted for like an hour and a half or so, 2 hours. And I was thinking the other day, what better person to have on the podcast than someone I had an amazing conversation with in a coffee shop here in downtown Nashville. So we got him on the podcast today. Adam, what does alignment mean to you? You know, it's a word we hear all the time online and people throw it around, but what does alignment actually mean to you?
Yeah, man. Well, first off, thanks for having me, bro.
Absolutely.
I saw your Instagram. I know we'd met a couple times on tour, but I saw your Instagram and I was like, man, this guy is, I like where his head's at. I like his mindset. He's hustling hard. And I'm like, I got to grab coffee with this dude. And sure enough, that's what we did. And it was like, I think we planned to be there for like 30 minutes. We were there for like an hour and a half. Yeah. So it's great. So I'm happy to bring it here.
Absolutely,
and thank you for having me, bro.
I'm glad you're here.
Alignment, bro. I think I started a brand and a faceless Instagram, and I called it Align Daily Club, as you know about. But it really aligned to me is just like surrounding yourself with the people that are doing what you want to do. And it's like get in a line with what you want, with the people that are doing what you want, whether it's fitness, whether it's working in music, working in fashion, whatever it is you want to do, you get in line with those people and you just start following and set your life up to align with your goals of what it is you want to be. If you want to be a dad, you want to be a family person, hang around people or family people. You want to get in shape, get around people that are in shape, you know, and just stay away from the people that aren't doing what you want to do and just people that you outgrow. So yeah, it's a buzzword, but I do think it's set your goals and then get in line with the people that are doing what you want to do.
Yeah. If someone's feeling lost right now and they know that they're built for more, they're just not very aligned right now with where that they think that they should be headed, what advice would you give to someone that just needs to get the ball rolling universally?
I mean, I remember when I moved to LA back I was like 25 years old, and there just didn't have a lot of things going in music, and I felt that way. It was like, what do I need to do? So I just started organizing my day. I'd get up early. I'd go to the gym. I'd get home. I need a breakfast, and I'd just go down to a Barnes & Noble, and I'd just read books. Yeah. And I'd just listen to YouTube videos and find out, like, study the people that are doing what you want to do and just kind of trust the process in a way. It's like, as long as you're practicing good daily habits, you'll get yourself to where you need to go, and you'll start building some luck. Yeah. And eventually things will change. There's going to be weeks where I feel like nothing's happening. Still feel that at my age and what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden there's this week and it's just like all kinds of wins. And it's like, get up early. The wins are going outside, getting fresh air, going for a walk, working out, taking care of myself, just writing, journaling, still keeping, goals in front of me. And just sticking to those regardless of how I feel,
I think and I know that it's a fact because I myself have experienced it, but I've been, like you mentioned a second ago, very consistent and chasing stuff and in a pursuit of success. But I think someone can be, and I'm interested to hear your take on it, I think someone can be on the pursuit of that and achieving success, but still not be aligned with who they are as a person. I think many of yours, and this is just coming from personal experience, but I was receiving success and achieving things, but I myself wasn't aligned. Going back to, you mentioned a routine and going to the gym, there's two different realms there. It's, yes, I'm achieving and being success in my work, but I'm not necessarily aligned with my health and fitness and my personal life. So do you think someone can be achieving success and still not be aligned with who they are as a person aside from their work?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you see it a lot in maybe the corporate world where people, you can be successful at your job, but you're kind of letting other areas of your life you're not putting enough attention in those. It's like, and there's seasons where the work-life balance I'm still unsure of how I really feel about that, because I don't think you can keep every bucket at 25% and still be happy in all areas. There's going to be seasons where work requires a little bit more attention, and then relationship, and then your health and fitness. And I think the real challenge for me is just finding a way to make sure I'm kind of giving attention to all of it. And that's one, just like setting up a routine every day.
Yeah.
And putting a schedule together. It's like letting no time in your day not have some kind of purpose. Give it attention to something, because you're more apt to do it if you're like, all right, I wrote down from 10 to 11, I will go for a walk, call my mom, connect with my mom. All right, from 12 to 2, this is the time where I, focus on work and emails and researching what it is I want to be doing, or put time. And it's just a little bit of just focus on those things. And I think after a while you can kind of balance it out. But
yeah, allotting time to specific things throughout your day other than just, okay, I got to do work in this time. If you really plan it out, and it kind of sounds like time blocking essentially. Is that kind of what you do? You time block? Do you follow Rob Dyrdek at all?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So you're familiar with his I can't think of it off the top of my head, his new app, Existence.io?
I've seen him on Instagram, but I haven't.
Yeah, so it's some like he's I've been a Rob Dyrdek fan since he was in Fantasy Factory, doing that show. But it's some new app he's developed, and I'm pretty sure it's available now. I don't know. I know they were rolling it out for the longest time, but it really just tracks your time, and it's kind of like a calendar, to-do list type of thing, but you input everything, and it tracks the analytics of it and gives you statistics about where your time is being spent, and you rate like how you're feeling on each day, and then it like categorizes everything, so you really get like a broad view of how you're spending your time and how you feel doing certain time. I mean, it goes all the way down to like you're driving and how long you're spending driving. It tracks it on like a weekly and monthly basis. I don't know. I haven't personally dove into it, but I see him always post about it. Yeah. So I figured it might be something you might be interested in. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I try to keep a tight schedule. I use Notion for a lot of my planning, and some days I'll map out every single 30-minute block, and then some days it's kind of spaced out. But I think getting some organization in your routine and creating a routine can really help you achieve what it is you're after, and not just kind of being all over the place, especially if you're an entrepreneur and there's no set schedule and no one telling you what to do. Yeah. It's kind of like you have to be organized with that, or you'll just be that's discombobulated mess.
Yeah, that's that discipline. That's where it comes into play.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rob Dyrdek, to speak on that, when I lived in LA, I worked on Ridiculousness, his show. The cool thing about that show is that we filmed in like Van Nuys, California, and we started at 9:00. He did 2 episodes every day. We were out of there by 11:00.
That's
11:30. And he was the only... I worked on Wild 'N Out, I worked The Voice, Jimmy Kimmel. He was the most structured like host I've ever seen.
So you could see it even then.
Oh, yeah. When he showed up, he was like, all right, let's get to work.
Yeah.
And there was no fluff. There was just like, he came in, he was ready to shoot, he was dressed, and we did 2 episodes, and then we left. Yeah. A lot of times, as you'll hear rumors, you'll sit on set for hours.
Yeah.
Not with him. It was consistent every day.
When he got
from 9
there,
to 11, he got there, he was ready to work. We had to be ready. And it was like, and you could see it. So it makes sense to me. He's disciplined.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
It was cool to see.
Yeah. Well, talk a little bit about your role with that. What were you doing on set and in that space?
When I first moved to California, I had no connections. I had found a spot, grew up in Maine, found a spot on Craigslist, and I FaceTimed the people, and sure enough, we're going to take it over in like 3 months. I drove across the country, got to the apartment. They hadn't fully moved out. They had a cat. The place was kind of a mess. I had just drove for 6 days. So it was a whole thing. And so I got a hotel that night, and the lady that I was taking it over from, she knew one person in town. She knew I wanted to work in music. She's like, hey, I can connect you with this guy, and his name's Ben Dukes. Shout out to Ben Dukes. She's like, I'll connect you in an email. And sure enough, so he got an email or got an interview with him. And basically he was running a company called One Iota. It's a fan agency, and they handle all the tickets for a lot of the big shows in LA. And sure enough, had the interview first. Didn't know I showed up in a suit, like professional.
Yeah,
like
sure.
They were so laid back. It's like working in the industry.
Dressed like me,
if I showed up with a suit today, you'd probably be like, "That's cool, man." But
fired.
Yeah. It's like, hey, man, change that.
Yeah.
Just a little. I showed up a little too corporate, and I was like, man, this. I don't know what's gonna happen. But he called me back a week later, said, hey, be at the Voice next Monday. That was my first job in LA. So I was like, so cool. That was like, all right, it's proof that I'm supposed to be here. Yeah. Well, I did that for a bit, and then they also were working on Ridiculousness. So we were basically handling tickets. So fans would go to the website, and they'd make a profile, submit tickets to go to the show, and you kind of pick, fans based on, if they lived in town or whatnot, the demographic that you need for the show. I think it was like 100 people in the audience. So then we would just like give them a call time, have them process them through, put them in the studio, and sure enough. And the cool thing about that, dude, is that's the, like, on that show I met Kobe Bryant. And Kobe's my huge, like, he was the reason I moved to LA. He was so like, cool. He's such an idol with his mindset and the way he approached the game. But yeah, he did that show and got to shake his hand and say thank you. And it was just in passing, but the fact that I got to be in a room with Kobe, I was like, it's pretty wild how life works out. But
yeah, wow. R.I.P. to Kobe, and what a cool moment, cool experience. And it's like, it just goes to show you sometimes just a change of location. Like you got out there, and that was your first opportunity, and that's enough. That itself didn't change your life or change the trajectory of it, but I'm sure that gave a lot of motivation. It was like, okay, I'm on the right track if I'm getting opportunity, whether it's, being the videographer for the show or helping sell tickets, or maybe you're not even there, you're running social media. It's like it's a token of gratitude or just reminder that you're headed in the right direction. So that's sick. So you spent some time out in LA, and then made your way back to Nashville. Tell for the people that aren't familiar with you, you work in the music industry, and you're doing tour managing currently, and have been doing that. Just give a little bit of backstory on kind of your into the music industry and what your job really is as a tour manager. Yeah,
I to kind of go back, I grew up in Maine, and I went to school for marketing. And in 2000, I got a degree in marketing. In 2014, I decided I wanted to work in music, but there was nothing in Maine. And I was like, if I'm going to make this happen, I need to really go surround myself, kind of back to getting in a line with what you want to do. How do I put myself around people who are working in music and give myself the best shot at this? I was 24 at the time. So I saved up $3,000. I was working at it. I was selling cell phones, making commission, had $3,000, which was probably the most I'd ever had at any point in my life. Mm-hmm. And I packed up my car and told myself in 3 months I'm moving to LA. It was a girl that I was dating at the time. And we had a little going away party, and I just found hotels all across America that would just kind of like drive 6 to 8 hours, and did that, got to LA, and just started applying for jobs. And it was like a crazy shock, to be honest, to be out there. I mean, things are expensive. It's all new. I don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. I didn't have anyone I could just go like sit with and have dinner at nighttime. Like, it was just like me and the girl at the time. And it was like I got that job on The Voice. That was my first job, but it was so part-time that I still had to find other gigs. So I was waiting tables. And then after 6 months, the girl I was dating, she was like, I don't want to live here anymore. And she decided to move back. And it was heartbreaking for me, one, because she left. I was all alone. Everything was expensive. I didn't know how I was going to make it all work. But I told my family wanted me to move back and say, hey, just get your feet under you and then go back out. And I said, if I leave now, I'll never come back. I was like, I got to figure this out. So I was willing to go. I told myself, I made it, I signed a contract with myself and it said, hey, man, if you're going to make this work, this is the time. This is either fight or flight. You either stick it out and see what happens, or you go home and then it's
This
over.
is going to be your life for forever.
I knew what I could go back to. I knew what that life was going to be like, and I knew I didn't want it. So sure enough, I just started working like crazy in networking, and I was willing to go sleep in my car. And I was 2 days before I was going to be out of my apartment. Someone else had taken it over, and I was going to live in my car. And I was working at Dodger Stadium. I was a concession supervisor. It's crazy, but I was at all the Dodger games. But I was basically checking in on all the concessions to making sure they had everything they need. And it was a tough job because it was far away from music, but it was cool because felt like I was part of something, and it paid well.
Yeah.
I talked to one of the guys there, and he's like, I think I know somebody that has a house in Burbank. She had 3 daughters and a son. The 3 daughters move out. They have empty rooms. Sometimes they rent them out. And kid you not, bro, he connected me with the lady. I went and met with her and her son, and they're sweethearts. And she told me the address, and the address was a half a mile up from the Barnes and Noble that I used to sit at every day in Burbank. I would drive around that little town. I'd read books, journal, and drive around and just be like, man, I'd love to live up here someday. She was half a mile up the street.
That's crazy.
On Olive Ave, and she had a pool. She had 2 empty rooms. One had a bathroom connected to it, and she's like, she rented it off to me for $600.
That's insane.
It was the crazy. I was two days away from just like, yeah, I was gonna go sleep in my car. I already knew where I was gonna sleep, but I was like, I'll figure this out. I'll save the money, and it's crazy. But that's just like those little signs of just like, have you read the book The Alchemist? You know about that book?
The audio book, yes. Yes.
Yeah, see
I love
that?
it.
Like Santiago just has this
omen.
Yeah, it really is. And you just put yourself out there, and it's crazy. The world will, it'll reward you for going out and trying some stuff. And when you think you're at your darkest, it's like it shows up, and it's like you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're like, it's crazy.
It sounds like you put yourself literally in the neighborhood. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was like, don't just think about what it would be like to be in the Ferrari or be in the mansion. Like, go drive to that neighborhood or rent a Ferrari for the day and drive it around, drive it to the neighborhood. I'm sure you probably weren't in a Ferrari at the time, but you went to the specific neighborhood and you were reading in there, and you were alchemizing that energy. And then a half mile down the road, a house opened up. So that's such a cool story. To someone that's, sitting on talent and skills right now and kind of in the same boat that you were, maybe, needing a change in their life or a move and not knowing, what's coming next, but still putting themselves out every single day and putting in the reps, what advice would you give to someone that's sitting in that position?
Honestly, I think just go tell people what it is you want to do. Go take coffee meetings, and just put out there what it is you want to do. And that's the best way to attract the people. Give people an opportunity to help you.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do this by myself. Like, I the more I talk to people and tell them, like, hey, like, my next step right now is starting a management company. Like, that's where my goal is. That's where my head's going. That's where the energy is going to be. But you got to start talking about what you want to do, because it gives other people a chance to say, hey, I know you want to get into this, like, this person's looking, and just gives them a chance to help you. Give people an opportunity, because it's really just, you can't do it alone, and you got to put it out there. People need to know what it is you want to do. Whatever
it is you want to do, put it out there into the world, whether it's in person networking or social media. You have to let people know what it is that you do, what you're building, what service you offer, what book you're writing, what project you're working on. You have to put it out into the world if you want people to even know it exists. And I think there's so many talented creatives that are walking around this earth right now, sitting on, you know, the next big project that just aren't putting things out into the world, and no one will ever know it exists. And there's people with way less talent that are alchemizing that in a sense, and making it known that they're on pursuit of this and that are going to get it just because they're putting in reps every single day. So
waiting for it to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, people just think it has to be a certain way. But the people that we're following or we're watching, or they're our idols, like, they had to start with nothing at some point too. And
Steve Jobs didn't have a perfect iPhone or a perfect MacBook made in his parents' garage back in the day. You know, it was very rough around the edges and not perfect whatsoever. But, you know, now look, we're recording this podcast on, and one of our cameras is, you know, on, and it's you have to start, and you can't be perfect. I know when I first started putting videos out, circa 2018, you know, and they were far from perfect, and I wasn't even good enough to consider that perfect. But at the time, you know, it had to be perfect in my eyes, and I had to get over that hump and just realize, like, okay, I just got to start putting stuff out. Like, if I tried to perfect every single thing about this video for so long, then it's just going to pass you by. The moment will pass you by. And I struggle with that. Like, and tour videographers and photographers might understand this. It's like, and you will get it too. The shows come so fast. You know, you do one show on Thursday, and then it's already the next show Friday, Saturday, and then the next weekend's here before you know it. Like, if you tried to make that video too perfect, that recap video, for my instance, the next weekend will be here before you know it. That moment's already gone. People don't even want to see it, you know. The people that were there have already gone back to work. They're already so far mentally removed from the moment. So it's like, just get things out there. Put things out and see where it takes you, you know. My most viral video, I've spent hundreds of hours creating content for myself, for my clients. My most viral video that's performed the best on social media, 14 million views. It took me maybe 5 minutes to edit, and it was shot on a 360 camera. Oh, wow. And I've spent thousands of dollars on all this expensive equipment, and, you know, and spent hundreds of hours editing. And the one that performed the best, that people resonated with the most, was the one that took the least amount of time. You know, it's like my least perfect video is the one that performed the best. It's just like prime example. Put stuff out there, see what sticks, and rinse and repeat. Whatever it is, video, a song, you know, a book. Just put yourself out there. Yeah.
You know how I knew you were going to be successful?
How's that?
It's just you weren't afraid to put yourself out there. All your videos, like, you're putting yourself out there, and that's the gold. That's once people figure out, you just have to put yourself out there, whether it's a song, whether it's videos, whatever it might be, a book, a poems, whatever. Someone who just is not afraid, they're scared, but they do it anyway, kind of thing. That's when I know, like, they've crossed that threshold where they don't care what people think. Yeah. They put it out there. They are going to be unstoppable, because once you callous that, like, whatever that is,
there's no going back.
There's no going back. You're like, okay, I don't care what y'all think. Here's my video of me doing this. Hey guys, I wrote this song today. Let me know what you think. You do a couple of those, and you're like, oh wait, I didn't get any views. Screw it. I'm just gonna put out more. Like, what's the worst that's gonna happen?
Still breathing,
now?
still above ground.
Still breathing. You know, and look around. Do you want to be these other people that are afraid to do stuff? Like, you don't want to. You can't speak those quotes and not actually live up to it. You know? So it's like, it also puts the pressure on you. It's like, hey man, if I'm gonna be motivational, it's like, I've got to do what I say, and I've got to just not be afraid to do these things. So
well, I appreciate that, and I'd have to agree. It's like you said callous, and that was the perfect word to describe it. So many people are scared of what others might say about their project or their special talent that they think special, that they might believe the rest of the world would think is stupid, you know. And it's once you get past that threshold of embarrassment or fear of judgment, there really is no going back. I'll post a video today and it might go viral, or I might post a video today and it gets less than 1,000 views and 10 likes. sure, I want to see it go viral, but mentally I don't care because I'm removed from that. You know, you have to detach. It goes back to detaching from the outcome.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I don't know, it's been huge for me and been a reason that I've seen success and had, you know, traction built up online to attract clients to me, is because I just truthfully don't care if something performs or not. And I know if you put the reps in each day, the bad, you know, the ones that don't perform or the ones that aren't successful, the projects that people might think are stupid, it doesn't matter, because if you do it every single day, the ones that win will outweigh that, and people will remember you by your wins, hopefully, and not by your losses. So
absolutely.
What version of yourself did you have to let go of in order to become who you are today?
I think that scared version, the Adam that I used to be shy. My parents will tell me all the time, they never thought I'd be the one to move to California for sure, and to put myself out there. I was afraid as a kid to even talk to my brother and sister at school.
Really?
Yeah, I was just that shy kid. I was afraid to talk in front of a class, all those things. And granted, I'm not the best at it. There's always improvements that I'm working on, but yeah, just going back to like not being afraid. You got to reach a point where you can't be afraid of what other people think. Everyone's out here trying to figure it out. No one really knows, you know? But it keeps me humble too, in a way of like, we're all just trying things. And the biggest thing as a TM is like, you get as much information about whatever you're doing and then make a decision on the routing or how we should handle a show or a load in or whatever it might be, a fly date from busing, like whatever it might be. You just get all the information and you just make the best decision you have or that you can, and you kind of live with it, and getting better at just kind of trusting yourself to make good decisions. But yeah, getting over that, being scared to make some people don't want to make decisions.
Yeah.
They want to be told what to do, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, because as a TM, you're making decisions, and if it doesn't go well, it's on me. I have to live with it. I have to answer to it, to management.
You're the dad of the tour.
Yeah,
you know,
you really do. So it's like, but I'm okay with that. I feel like I'm happy to take that pressure if someone has to, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of people wouldn't or can't take that pressure. You said some people need to be, and not even that they like to be told, they need to be told what to do and directed, hey, go here, do this for this amount of time. And it's not everyone is wired to handle that kind of pressure. And it's you really see it on the road, and especially in your job. You know, when I first started getting started touring, not that I would give the tour managers a hard time. Like my first tour manager, he was an older guy. He'd been in it he'd toured with Sum 41, Metallica, like all these just legendary bands. So he'd been around the block. And but me and him hit it off. We were really close, but I'd always give him a hard time just to kind of lighten the mood, because I knew he was always under so much pressure and stress. And I quickly learned, like, okay, maybe just read the room a little bit more in depth and know when it's time to crack a joke. You know, there's always that guy in a tour or just around that tries to lighten the mood, but you gotta know. But tour managing, man, y'all face a lot of challenges through your day. Yeah. It's a hard job for someone listening right now that's trying to get into the music industry and maybe they're thinking about tour managing. What would be the best job description you could give them on a tour managing role?
To try to think of the best word to describe it would be,
how many hats can you wear?
Yeah, you're definitely you're responsible for a lot, and it's not, some people will call it babysitting.
Yeah.
In a way it is, because you have to kind of be looking after everybody. Because babysitting doesn't mean babies, but it means you're there to make sure, one, everyone gets to the show and you can do what you're booked to do. But also you're taking care of all the people to make sure and like everyone's set up for success. So whether it's the routing and the hotels and the vehicles. It's, yeah, I don't know if this is the best answer, but
No wrong answer.
What?
No wrong answer.
But yeah, and if I was to my younger self, like I always wanted to do this. When I worked for Live Nation in LA, I was working at a venue as a show manager, and all I wanted to do was get on the road. And I just wanted to know what it felt like to go out and do something like that. It felt like a really cool thing to do. And I still love it, man. I love being out there and kind of like you're essentially making everyone's dreams come true.
Yeah.
You're on the road. You want to give this like have the best experience for everybody. You want the tour, you want the opener to feel good, you want your artist to feel good, you want the band and crew to be like, this is a really good tour.
Yeah.
Despite the budget you have for the shows, if you're in a club, a theater, whatever, or arena, whatever it might be, you just want to set everyone up for success, and you just want to just make sure everyone's like has the best chance of having a good time.
Yeah. Make it a good tour, because like you said a minute ago, it falls back on you.
Yeah. And
even if it's not your fault, let's blame the tour manager.
Yeah.
He's the one in charge.
The culture is like, a TM is always like, I made sure that the TM kind of creates the culture of the camp. Like the artist will too.
Absolutely.
If the artist is, they have their preferences, but a lot of time the artists aren't interacting as much with the band and crew.
Or handling the day-to-day nuances,
They're handling their own things, and you're just making sure you want to set up a culture of like everyone's having fun. They're looking forward to every weekend so that people enjoy being out with y'all.
Yeah. For someone that's trying to break into the music industry and maybe more specifically become a tour manager, and they have no prior connections, what advice would you give to them to get started in this?
First thing I would do is probably move to Nashville. Your best chance. I think the best thing. I lived in LA and I tried to get into music.
It's a different scene out there, isn't it?
Very different.
From what I've heard.
I had interviews with Warner, with Capitol, with publishing companies, and I couldn't get past the first round.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was working in television and working for Live Nation. I just couldn't seem to get anyone to give me a shot, And I don't look at that. I use that as fuel. I think I'm glad it didn't happen, because I wouldn't have made it to Nashville. But in 2019, I decided, I really want to work in music. I had some songwriter friends that lived in Nashville, and they were like, dude, you got to come here, and we'll connect you with some people, and this is where you'll be able to get on the road and start managing artists. And sure enough, I moved here, and it just, the culture was different. It's like you meet people, they want to know what you want to do, and then it seems like through the grapevine, like people will find you a job. They're more willing to kind of put your name in a hat and say, hey, this guy's got a good work ethic. Yeah. Give him a shot. Yeah. People are touring. Like there's buses and vans leaving here every day.
Right now.
Like there's someone.
Tonight, I'm leaving tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's someone that would hire someone just to come out and help carry boxes, or just move some gear around. You know what I mean? You may have to work for free for a little bit, and I'm not against that. You've got to go out there and prove your worth a little bit, but yeah, it's just got to be here. You got to be
where
it's happening.
The opportunities are.
There's a quote I live by. It says, it's like, hang around the barbershop long enough, you're bound to get your hair cut. And that's what it is. You got to go be around the people that are doing it. Give yourself the best shot. Just like I DM artists all the time, and they're writing songs. They're like, yeah, I want to come to Nashville and do all this stuff. It's like, well, dude, like if you're not on social media all the time, you better be here. Yeah. Connecting with people, riding with people, because
and if you really want the biggest opportunity, be doing both.
Yeah.
It's your
vicinity.
Your proximity to what it is you want does play a role in it. You know, it's you can't be in the mix if you're not around the mix. So it's how much of a career in touring is built through who knows your name when a position opens up?
I think it would come down to if they know you're with somebody and you're happy, I don't think your name will pop up as often as if you're kind of a freelance guy.
Sure.
In the country world, there's a lot of there is moving around, but I do feel like there's a lot of teams are loyal to like their band and their TMs. Like I think everyone's goal is to kind of be with someone and kind of
rock with them.
Yeah. I mean, in a perfect world, that's where would be my role.
It's job
position.
Security. It's going to be consistent or somewhat consistent.
Yeah. But as teams change, as artists kind of change and get older and want to do different things, like I think I've always said this with Nate's team. It's like any team I've worked for, actually, it's like you find out what motivates everyone on the team. You have check-ins every month to say, hey, how are things going? What's working well? What are your goals for this year? And I'd sent that out when I worked with Nate Smith. I sent it to his band and crew. It's like, what are your guys' goals? Because everyone's goals are different on the road. And if you don't know what they are, then you might hit a point in the year where people aren't happy. But some just want time off with their family. Yeah. Some want more money. Some want an opportunity to kind of write with the artist and get a cut on the record.
Sure.
So you check in and say, what's your goals? And that's the best way to figure out like how to keep people happy, but also just create a good culture in the camp. Yeah.
I think that goes, along with just being a good leader and communication, checking in. You said you might be in the middle of the year and everyone's just kind of burnt out. And it's like, okay, everyone could be pissed off and everyone's kind of wondering why everyone's pissed off. You're pissed off, but a simple check-in, simple communication, whether it's in touring or just in any realm, really just, I don't know. I think as a society, we lack communication. I can't speak for every role and every person, on earth, but I just feel like if we communicated more in relationships and in our work, we would have a better understanding of where everybody's at, because everyone has different goals. Just because there's an office building, a corporate office building downtown Nashville filled with people, it doesn't mean everyone's there for the same reason. Yep. Some are trying to support their family. Some's trying to climb the corporate ladder. Some's just trying to pay their rent this month. So just being able to understand people, I think that just puts us in a better spot all around as human beings. Yeah. Is communicating and understanding where someone's at, and I guess it goes along the lines of having empathy for other people too, being able to feel and understand where they're coming from. It can really go a long way. Touch on some of the artists, that you've gotten the opportunities to work for. I know I'm aware of a couple of them. I'm sure there's some that I'm not aware of. So just tell us a little bit about some of the opportunities you've had.
Yeah, I started in 2022 with Ryan Hurd. Shout out to Ryan. He gave me my first shot on the road. He actually hired me to be his guitar tech. And funny enough, I do not play guitar at all. I know how to tune a guitar. And I learned how to string a guitar.
But sure not enough, musically gifted with it.
Nope. Nope. I had Teddy was always checking the guitars during line checks and stuff. So, but he gave me the shot, and with the intention of like, hey, you're going to learn from my TM. He knew I wanted to be a TM. So John Williams, mentor of mine, shout out to John. Love that dude. He taught me everything. He showed me how the road ran, and also for him, like I was coming in green to the road, just having like venue experience. But I just soaked up everything he was doing. So I was on that tour, I was guitar tech. I was helping with VIP. I was like a backline tech on the stage, setting up lights, cables, unloading the trailer, loading in the merch. We had a bus, thankfully, that I wasn't having to drive on that.
You really were made to be a tour manager.
Yeah, I was doing all of it, and I didn't mind it. I was exhausted by the one time I got home, but I was just so thankful for that opportunity to be out there. So I started with Ryan, and then, John was going out to help with Marin on her tour. So Ryan came to me and was like, hey, do you want to tour manage me? And I was like, wow, bro. I was like, I've only been on the road with him for 5 months, but the biggest compliment he ever gave me was like, he told me I could do this at the highest level. And for someone who's worked so hard to get to the road and to have someone like Ryan, a legend around here, to tell you, it's like, you could do this at the highest level. And I was like, but I just started. He's like, yeah, but you've got it. And for him to recognize that.
That's all you needed to hear.
Yeah, that's all. I'm like, whoa. So after that, he was coming off the road to mainly write. He connected me with Ward Gunther with Whiskey Jam. And Ward had 3 artists or 5 artists, if you count the Canadian ones as well, out on the Old Dominion tour. So I was we had Cassie Ashton, Graylin James, I think it's Sean Austin. Hope I don't get that wrong. Or Austin Sean.
Austin Sean,
yeah. He's a good dude. And Stephen Lee Olson.
That's just the trouble you get with having 2 first
names. Because there's a producer, Sean Austin as well.
Yeah.
So, and then Frank Ray. So I was out with them for 3 or 4 months. And then Ryan actually called me when I was out on the road with the Whiskey Jam team. And he's like, hey, I just met this guy, Nate Smith. He's got a huge song on the radio. He has like a huge career ahead of him. He's like, I know I wanted you to work with Ward. He's like, you need to take this job. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, connect me. Meanwhile, I'd had a call that day with Chief and Simon at the core, which is funny. And I got back to town. I met with Nate. We hit it off, and all things were good with Ward. And I moved over, and I was with Nate for about 3.5 years. And right before I went with Nate, there was some downtime. I went out with a guy named Knox. He's kind of like a alternative pop guy. Mm-hmm. He's great, kind of like in the band Camino realm. I went out with him for a couple weeks, and then I filled in for Meg with Lainey Wilson for a weekend, nice. Which was really cool to see it at that level. What a great team that is. Yeah, and then since then, I've been out with Hudson Westbrook. I filled in for his TM this year, and currently with Zach John King. So
man, really good portfolio,
yeah,
strong
dude,
portfolio.
I'm so blessed, man. It's crazy. It's really is like you meet these you love music so much, and then you get to the town, and then you're like, there's so many opportunities, and when you look back, sometimes you're like, wow, it's cool. I've got to do all this stuff.
Like, man, I've done a lot. Yeah, and probably still feel like it's just the beginning. You know? I feel that way, anyways.
Do you ever look back and like my time in LA seems really long? Like it felt like the years were long.
Yeah,
and I was just grinding, trying to figure things out. And I've been in Nashville for 5 years, but it's been like, I don't know if it's a flow state or if it's just been like things have been so fast. But it doesn't feel as long that I've been here, but I have just as long.
Probably a flow state, you know, you getting grooves to where it's just you're flowing, you know, you're elevating. It might not be a crazy leap, you know, or it doesn't seem like a crazy leap in the moment, but it's just all these small leaps over time. And it's, I lose track of time very, very often, honestly. Like some things will feel like my first tour at times feels like it was just yesterday, and then at times it feels like it was 5 years ago, you know. And it's just I don't know. I think touring has something to do with that.
I think so too.
Like it's not a normal lifestyle by any means, and it's kind of I like to say, if you're touring, you're life maxing, because you're literally almost going in a portal, you know. You jump from city to city. You'll do a show here. You'll wake up at a new one, and just like start your day as if that's just normal, to go to sleep in one state and wake up in the next, and then just do it all over again. And you're doing, you know, essentially the same stuff every day, but all of the in-betweens, you're doing so much new things too, and seeing in new places, taking in new information. So it's I've credited touring to my short-term memory loss too. Could be my days of drinking too, but I don't know.
It's a great way to put it. I think touring does. Just like it's and I say it lightly because it's got a little mundane for me, because we're back in the same cities I've been to. Yeah. But it's just like every day is different, because it's a new city, it's a new venue. You're looking for coffee in the morning for like a brand new spot. Like life doesn't get boring. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, say to you, if you were working like a more of a corporate job, and like you get up and you work out, and you go to the office, and you get home from the office, where touring has never felt like that. You know? there are long days. There are days on the road where you're just like, you sound check early and you're like, well, what are we going to do for 6 hours until the show's at 8 o'clock? There are those days. But I think early on in touring is just like, it's all new. It's just like, you're back and forth. You're home for 2 days. You're gone for 4. Like, whoa, it's like, it's crazy. You know?
Yeah, it is a crazy lifestyle. And it's, I don't know. It's kind of like do not think if you join touring, you're going to be on vacation. But the act of traveling and going to new places, it's kind of like you're doing a little bit of the same thing you would do on vacation in that sense. But then you're working too, making money, elevating in that realm and seeing new things. So you're kind of doing like activities, for lack of better words. You're kind of doing 2 separate activities at the same time, week after week. And, you know, if you do a whole tour that stretches a whole summer or during the fall or winter, time gets away from you. And before too long, you think back, you think, at least I do, I'll think of like my mom or like people I grew up with that work, you know, traditional jobs that work through the week, and then the weekends, they're kind of just that's their time to do anything. And it's kind of just the complete opposite for people that work jobs like us. And it's, I don't know. It's so different than a traditional job in the best way possible. And I have a hard time describing the lifestyle of it to someone that doesn't understand it. Cause I'll come home from the road and just want to chill. And especially early on, my parents, you know, when I first started, I'd go see them after, like I'd get back from the road and whatnot, cause I lived pretty close to them, and I'd be exhausted and they'd be wanting to do stuff. And it's like, they didn't understand. They're like, you just traveled, and they were thinking I'm on vacation the whole time. I'm just running wild, especially at that time, like just running wild, capitalizing on every waking hour and staying up, party. I mean, literally everything. And I'd come home and just be like, what the hell happened? You almost don't even remember it, but it's, it's,
I think a lot back to one of your questions. It's like getting on the road. It's far from, it's like you get the taste of vacation, but you have responsibility there. So you're not fully relaxed.
No.
Like you might see photos of like sitting by the pool at your hotel room, or you're traveling.
But it was for
20
minutes.
Yeah.
In
you have that for like
check.
20 to 30 minutes. And then you're having like, all right, everyone in the van, a lot of social interaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no quiet time except when you're in your little bunk.
Yeah.
I encourage everyone who wants to do it to go and try it and do it.
Yeah.
But there is this side of it. It's like, it is like very hard on the body.
Yeah.
And
most
people get home on Sundays and they're socially exhausted. Like and it takes a day or two for me to kind of recover and kind of like want to open my email and want to, you know, get on phone calls and kind of
it's time for bus call again.
Yeah. And then it's, you know, time to go again. And you're like, oh man, like, so I've gotten to a point after 5 years where it's like, I'm ready to transition off the road.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's got a point where, not that I don't love it, but I think personal goals, talking those and what I want to be in 5 years. I don't want to be on the road. I need to take that next step in like management, you know? So it's kind of,
just another pivot in the career, you know?
And
each
I think
room has a ceiling. You know?
And I think it's all just, what are your goals on the road? Some people they want to do it the rest of their life.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Couldn't be me.
You see some of those guys and I'll be like, wow, man, props to you to be 55 and still out here just like handling this whole thing. But I have a 4-year-old daughter, and I'm just trying to think like, in 5 years, where do I want to be? Not be too short-sighted with everything. Like, how are my decisions right now going to affect what I'm doing in 5 years?
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to understand that. Like, people are like, well, why are you getting off the road? Why do you, it's like,
it looks like the dream from the outside. And it is. But, you know, just because it's the dream at one point in time doesn't mean it has to be forever. You know? It's I'm enjoying the road, and it's serving me great right now. You know, I'm going to ride that wave for as long as I dabble. I'm not just fully on the road, but that's my bread and butter right now. But it's, I want to fill up about 10 of these bad boys, these shadow boxes. I just started that last week, and I was like, okay, I need like a bunch more. I didn't realize how much tour stuff I'd collected. I'm sure you probably the same way, just passes and
Yep.
and laminates. And before we get off the topic of it, you're talking about transitioning, and obviously that's not tomorrow or anything, but just touch on how important it is for someone that maybe they're in a great opportunity right now. Maybe to most people they're in a dream job. Talk about how important it is to recognize when you've hit your ceiling in a certain room or in a certain position, and how important it is to know when to pivot to what's next in your life.
Yeah, I think I think I've gone through this a couple times in my 38 years. You get to a point when it's almost like when you're not as excited to do the job anymore, and you realize you're not showing up for your friends and family the way you used to, that excitement. I think that's just telling sign that it's like you need a bigger goal.
Yeah.
Like you've hit something, it's like, and maybe sit with yourself, write down what it is. Like, are you excited about what you're doing right now? And where do you see yourself? Where is this, what you're currently doing, going to take you in 5 years?
Yeah.
2 or 3, 6 months, whatever it might be. But yeah, I think we all feel guilty when things are going good, when it was a dream that we always had, to be like, oh, I remember when this was like all I wanted, and I don't want to feel ungrateful for what I have. But it's okay to want more for yourself. Yeah. It's okay to climb a mountain and realize, like, wait, I got here, I learned this, but also I want to try doing this. Like, I think that's, for someone like me, if someone comes to me, that's why I love having these one-on-ones with some of like the band and crew, is like, I love when they can tell me those things. It's like, great, let's figure, like, the road doesn't have to be for you always. Like, let's figure out a transition off. What do you want to get into the office? Or do you want to go, maybe some of them have real estate licenses. Yeah. It's like, that's okay. Like, we'll find a replacement. Like, it's more about just helping humans figure out what it is they want to do in life, and chasing the dreams. Like, it doesn't always have to be about, like, that's
I think if more humans understood what you just said and were more willing to just help other people along the way, if you really peel it all back and look at it, every single person's in a pursuit of something. And if we're in close proximity working for a tour or on a team per se, we're all there for, at the end of the day, we're there for the artist, and that's the business there. But we all got our own goals and dreams, and in our own heads, we're the main character, not in a toxic way. It's just we're doing this, for the artist or for the company, but at the end of the day, we're there for us. We're there because we see something there. But if we could be a little bit more understanding of that and just kind of help everyone else out along the way. That's in a perfect world. Obviously, it's never going to be like that, but world might be a little bit better place, and people might get along a little bit better if we were to operate like that. But that's perfect world thinking. That'll never be.
But I think there's something to it. I think you want to work for somebody who kind of understands that and wants the best out of everybody. I feel like you're just going to create a better culture. People are going to show up knowing it's a safe place to come, because this is real life. Everyone has their problems at home. Everyone's dealing with things, and all you want to do is give people a chance to be themselves and be open and transparent about everything that's going on. I don't know. At the end of the day, we're just putting on shows. We're just playing music. I'm just routing tours.
Ain't that serious?
Like, it's not rocket science. Like, my job is, like, I'm disposable. Like, there's always someone that could come in and do my job. Like, it's just what it is. There's another bass player. It's like, just show up, do the best you can. And, if you have other goals or ambitions, like, let's talk about it and see how, we can fit that into what we're doing. Or if you want to come off the road, let's try that for a little bit too. Like, I don't know.
With social media, how it is today, and everyone kind of following the follower per se, do you think people are chasing their dreams or a proximity to someone else's dreams that they just see online?
Well, I think there's always that side of it where you, like, when I was a kid, I was always looking at magazines and, like, looking at basketball players or or musicians and stuff. And it's like, oh, I would love to like work with those people or be that. And I think there's always, that's kind of where that's the vision board. Like social media will be like, I want to get to that. That looks like a good feeling, or a good place to be. But I do think we have to be realistic about not everything is what it seems, you know? And same with touring, like back to climbing the mountain, and you get somewhere, you're like, oh, I thought this would feel different. Thought getting here, thought shooting this person, thought being a part of this camp, thought being full time with one artist would be cool. But after a while, you're just like, you know, I'd rather be freelance. I'd rather continue doing my own little thing. I do think we can get, people can get caught up in the wrong thing. So it's important to realize everything you see on Instagram is not always, not as exact how it is. Yeah. It's not the reality of it. And it's good to ask questions. Like I have this good mentor, his name's JJ. And he's always, anytime I've tried to make a switch in my career or have big decisions, he just reminds me, it's like, ask around, ask other people like who are in these roles or work with these people, like get their opinions on this, learn, like try to find out the red flags before you get in there. And are you willing to accept those as part of it? Because sometimes we're like, hey, money's good, I get to travel, but you don't understand like the mental toll, like the relationship toll it'll take, like all these things. So it's good to just got to do the research, but also I'm all about going in on something. Yeah, go and try. I'm a very like hands-on person. Yeah, like can't tell me like I want to go and do it, and I'll get the souvenir and I'll come back and be like, all right, I did it. Like it, but he's like, that's not for me. But sometimes you just got to go try it, you know. But
try
your
more
thoughts.
Try more things. Try more things. What's the fastest way to never get hired on a tour? Fastest way to never get hired again.
Man, you'll hear it in Nashville. It's like, are they a good hang? Sometimes it's like you can be great at what you're doing. You can be a great photographer. You could be a great bassist. You could have all the videos. You could say you've been on this thing, and then you get them out on a tour, and you're on a tour bus, and there's 8 to 10 people, and you're just either drunk, high. You want to be the main character in the room. You don't stop talking, like, and people start leaving and going to their, like, if you can't read a room, I've always said it this way: if you're gonna go out on tour and you don't know these people, just go in there and be a sponge. Yeah. Just sit and absorb. Let the conversations come to you. Don't be the one trying to have all and to ask too many questions. Like, just kind of let people. That's their environment, and I feel like that's the quickest way to just, like, I've seen it so many times, bro. Like, even this year, I've seen it a couple times where people just not a good hang. And I don't know how you coach someone on a hang.
I don't think you can.
I just think sometimes it's like it's not the right fit. Yeah. I don't want to tell someone they shouldn't be someone that they are. Sure. I'm never the one to say that.
It just doesn't mesh with the environment like, that you guys are in.
This isn't what we need. Yeah. And that's just being like, not being afraid to have the conversation. It's like, hey man, like, I just don't think this is a good fit. You're great at what you do, Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that. Any advice that I could give to someone that's trying to tour is you have to be a good hang, because I've seen talented photographers, videographers in all positions, but, talking about what it is I do, I mean, there's been tours, I'm not going to say names of anything, but there's been tours that I've been on with, like, big artists where mutual, like, photographers, videographers got brought up, and that I know and that, like, I really admire and respect their work. And then these people in this tour are like, yeah, that person was just not a fun person to be around. They were this and that. And I'm just like, that's so sad to hear, because, like, dang, here I am, like, not that I idolize these people's work, but I'm like, oh, they're a great photographer, at least everything. And, it doesn't take away that they're from being a good photographer. Mm-hmm. But just because you are great at what you do doesn't mean you're going to get hired back in the touring world if you're not fun to be around. The job itself, the show, what we're there for, 30 minutes to an hour and a half tops. You know what I mean? Yeah. How are you the rest of the 22 hours of the day? Because you got to be around these people, talking about living on a bus with them and not having too much alone time, and it really drains your social battery. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be around someone that's not enjoyable to be around. And that,
I think I just understand that as a human. Some get it. You're talking about coaching, like how do you coach? I don't think you can. I think it can be maybe learned, but I don't think you could actually like coach someone on it. They just have to screw up enough times and realize, okay, maybe I'm the problem. But even then, I think it just boils down to understanding that. I credit a lot of it to sports being a good hang and understanding how to, one, work with people, but two, how to have locker room talk and how to be in a locker room with other people. You learn those things early on, and I myself and being able to be a good hang and to be in a room and be a sponge, I think I credit a lot of it to playing sports growing up. It helped me out anyways, but so what's next for you on the? I know you're in the middle of a tour right now with Zach John King. Y'all are finishing that out. I just want to give my condolences real quick to him. I know he posted yesterday at the time of recording yesterday about losing his father. So just really want to give my condolences and prayers to the King family. And to everyone around him. So I know you guys are taking a little 2-week break from that tour, but getting back out on the road after that. So fall looking pretty busy, or
yeah, he's got a big year. He's out with Luke Bryan, Riley Green.
No, just Luke Bryan and Riley Green.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No big
Morgan
deal.
Wallen during the summer.
Full summer of Morgan Wallen tours. It's been great. Zach's a great guy. I love that kid. And then he's got a headline tour starting October. So album coming out at the end of August. Like it's big. I don't listen to a lot of country music.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this a little bit. I'm not really one to like put on a Wallen album or a lot of these country artists, but Zach's one of the guys I will just like open my phone and be like, hey, I want to listen to Space. I want to listen to, Backwoods, like all these things. Like he's on a different level. And I love to see it. I love to support it. It's cool to see. So I think he's got a bright future.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a lot of touring. I do, some day-to-day work on the side for some other artists. But slowly just building those things on the side. I'm always looking for artists to help.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've connected a few artists with a couple with like Sony A&Rs and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm always just like, I'm just in the business of like helping people reach their dreams. Like I don't want to just be in one place. I like to be able to do as much as I can and help others see their potential,
With being on the road and traveling so much, you're obviously away from home and away from family. And obviously, we started the episode by mentioning that you were a father. How has the road, or how does the road impact that role in being a father, and how do you kind of manage those two jobs that require so much attention from you?
Yeah. That's a great question. It's
because you're road dad when you're on tour, and then you're real dad when you get home.
Always the dad, Which it's wild, man. It's I think honestly having Isla has made me such a better person and better boss, better tour manager, better friend, all the things. It's just, it no longer became about just me. And not that I was big into like partying and goofing off, but once you have a child and you lock in as a dad, you're like, okay, well, everything, I think about her and everything I do, So there was a while for a time on the road where it's like, I just took it very serious, and it was like, I didn't drink for a while, and I was just really focused on, it was like, if it wasn't the road, it was Isla, and I'd come home, and it was just very strict and disciplined, and it's tough to balance because you want to. If I was to give advice to anyone who was trying to start a family and be a tour manager, I would say go be a tour manager first, get a feel for it, and then think about the family. It's not. I wouldn't say this is the best setup for trying to have a family.
Yeah.
I mean, being away, it's not. It's harder on the mom.
It's doable, but it's hard.
It's doable. It's definitely doable. But I do think it just a bit, it forces you to kind of just be a better person.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out for, maybe more fatherly on the road too. I'm looking out for everybody on the road. And I love that. I love the challenge of figuring out ways to how to make this the best thing possible.
Yeah.
So.
It takes a lot of, I don't know what the word is, discipline. Obviously, it's what you got to do, and it's the right thing. But, not everybody would be capable of balancing road life with family life and taking care of a daughter. So I commend you for that. That's, not every man could do that. It takes a real man to be present and actually do that. And I know you are, because we talked about it. The time that we met up for coffee, and I see it. You post about it all the time, and obviously it's social media. You just see stuff, but I don't know. I smile every time I see them. Like, Adam's really doing it, because I know that you probably just got off a tour bus the day before and you're exhausted, and it takes a lot to do that.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it's the biggest joy in my life. Do you want kids?
I do someday. Yes. Don't have any right now. But when the good Lord's willing, yes, I definitely want kids and a family someday. That's why I'm touring like crazy right now. Get it out. So not to say that I wouldn't tour then too, but I know that it's right now, this window of time. It's like, I don't have too many crazy responsibilities. Check on my mama, make sure she's good, and that's my duties right now. But eventually, I know that'll change, and
time's right.
Life will come at you really quick, and so it just. But yes, to answer your question, one day there needs to be a little Rip with a camera running around.
Yes, there does. Yeah,
I got plenty. I've started a collection of cameras that I can start giving to them. I better be careful if I manifest something I'm not ready for. But
that's how it happens. It's like we talked about it. You get a phone call when we get off this. And you say, "Hey, guess what? Surprise!"
No. Okay, next question. What role? Speaking of, actually manifesting and speaking things into existence. Obviously, we were talking earlier. You kind of have to create your own luck and put yourself out there and be striving after something. But what role does detachment play in getting what you want, just as much as the pursuit of it?
I think we're probably talking like detachment of like ego and
just detaching from the outcome, for someone that has goals and that is striving to get somewhere and that kind of just overtakes them. What role does detachment in the outcome actually play in reaching success and getting what it is you want? Yeah,
that's a great question. It's never been anything I've ever started I want to be the best at, but it's that saying that it's not always about what happens or like reaching the highest peak. It's like who you become in pursuit of that. And all the things that I've learned and anything I've ever decided to put myself into, it's like it's the person I became as trying to be the best tour manager, and the discipline it takes, and paying attention to detail, and taking care of people, and giving me the opportunity to be the leader, and the connections and relationships. Like, I'm so blessed. Like, when I look back for the 3 years with Nate, like we were everywhere. We've been to Australia twice, been to Europe, Canada multiple times. We've been all over the world, and it's like I go through my phone and like it's pretty wild the contacts that I have, and anywhere I go now, it's like we've been to any basketball game we wanted, went to football games, we like hockey games, like anywhere we wanted to go, man. It's cool what it gives you access to, and I'm just blessed that it's like that just showing up and trying to be the best every day it was enough for me to get to where I wanted to go. Am I the greatest TM? Absolutely not. There's people that are far better than me that are going to run bigger tours. But growing up, like there was this Ashton Kutcher quote where he was talking about how his first job was like sweeping Cheerios or something in the Cheerio wherever he lived, Iowa, wherever the factories are. He's like, whatever it is I decided to do, he's like, I was going to be the best at it. Yeah. And that's all you have to do. It's like when I see people working grocery stores or McDonald's and they're slacking off, they're like, well, if you can't show up here and be great at what you're doing, one, why are you here? And it's like, well, where do you plan to take this?
Yeah.
Like it's those daily habits, regardless of what you're doing. As it being a dad, it's like I want to show up and be the best dad. What does a good dad do? Research and do that every day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you kind of feel the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
do those small inputs each and every day, and you will get better at whatever it is you're.
mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with that. If every creative listening, or just if every person listening could take away one thing from a lesson that changed your life or changed your thought process on life, what would you want them to remember?
Good question. It's probably a lot of things, but one thing I guess I'd say it like this. It's like, one, you got to believe in yourself before anyone else does. Like, you have to know that you're capable of doing it. You don't have to have all the answers, but you just got to put your foot in the water and just and try it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I didn't know how to be a TM, but when I showed up that day, I was like, I'm going to figure this out. And every day I'll just dedicate myself to figuring that out. And with that is, like, I'm big into reading books, man. Like, I don't read as much. I'm a lot busier now. I still have books. I buy one a month to always make sure I have something by my bedside, and big into journaling. But I just try to, as much information as I can get, and just, because it's going to come in handy at some point. And it's just like, we're always out here to learn.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to stop learning. Like, I wasn't in college. I wasn't the best student. I wasn't a bad student, but I just didn't like school that much.
Yeah.
But I knew I needed to be in school, because it's like, what else? If I don't know what I'm doing, what am I like? I can't just not. At least
you're getting knowledge there.
Yeah.
You know,
I was gaining the knowledge. I was showing up to classes. It was that little bit of discipline everywhere I went. And I remember my favorite teacher before it was graduation week, and he was like, he kind of got emotional. He said, whatever you guys do, don't stop learning. When you leave this classroom, don't think it's the end of like learning.
Yeah.
Go buy books and continue. And I went and bought a bunch of Malcolm Gladwell books after that. And I just then I found The Alchemist. And that Alchemist is what pushed me to move to LA, because I said, I felt like I was Santiago on that journey to like, all right, well, he left his hometown because he felt there was something in his heart. There was a treasure.
Yeah.
He had to go see it. And as you go out on that journey, it's not going to be easy. Things are going to happen. You're going to lose money. You're going to meet bad people. But it's just taking that step. And then the green light theory of Matthew McConaughey is,
love that one.
Basically, it's like, set yourself up for success, and that is every relationship, any job you work, leave a good impression and leave on good terms.
Yeah.
The best you can. You can't always
don't burn bridges.
Don't burn bridges, because you don't want to spend your life looking behind you to see if like something, like someone's gonna like ask you for money or say you screwed them over. This.
Yeah.
It's like, just be a good person. It's not hard. You don't always have to be right. You don't always have to have money. You don't have to have all the answers, but just don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Be a good person. And then as you get going, you hit more green lights. You know, the more people you meet, they're like, oh, I heard, yeah, he stepped away from this job, but he was really respectful the way he did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Or he couldn't hire me, or he had to let me go on the tour, but he had a good conversation about like, hey, like, this is just how, this doesn't seem like a good fit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy to recommend you to other people, just not a good fit for this, but hey, you've got my number, and it's not bad blood.
Right. Yeah. I was one of the last people that I had on, one of the last guests, we were talking about that. Like, don't burn bridges. One, because morally, you don't want to do that. You want to have good relationship, even if it's not a working relationship. You don't want it to be bad. But two, also, it's a small world. It's a small industry. You burn bridges with one, that person might talk, and that word gets around, and your reputation's all you got at the end of the day.
Yeah. And
you need that in this industry and in life in general. So, yeah, don't burn bridges. Always do your best. There was something you said a second ago. I had a question that popped in my head, but can't think of it now. I'll probably think of it as soon as we cut. But, bro, it's been a fire episode. It's been a fire conversation. I'm glad we got to sit down and do this. We almost literally when we had the conversation in the coffee shop, when I left there that day, I'm like, I had the idea to start doing coffee shop type episodes.
Oh, yeah?
And like, but you know, I'd have to get it clear, which is nothing but a conversation with the coffee shop. But just, I don't know, the vibe at that place where we went, remind me.
Silver Fox.
Yeah.
16th Street.
Dude, it was so cool. I was like, this is a vibe. And I could see like just coffee shop talks with Rip or something. I don't know. I seen a whole series. Obviously, I didn't act on that, but it was just such a good conversation. We were flowing and a lot of relatability there too. So it's and I think so many creatives, just people like you and I, would resonate with more people too if they just got out of their box a little bit more and took the time to go have a 30-minute or an hour-long conversation with somebody. You know, I think we get so in our own boxes, and in today's time, I think COVID can be credited to some of it, but I don't know. We stay in our own shells so much these days. And I'm not speaking for everybody, but get out of your own house, go out in the world, go to a coffee shop, go to a co-working space, go just walk a couple blocks in a city or in your town, and it's just like, get out there and make these connections. That's the whole reason Creatively Connected is a thing, is to connect with people and connect people that are creative. And you just have to, it goes back to putting yourself out there. Like you opportunities will come, you will create your own luck, you will get gigs and who knows what, if you just put yourself out there a little bit more, you know. And it's okay if you're shy. If you're someone who's shy and introverted and don't like getting out and making friends and have no clue, the slightest understanding on how to network, like it's okay. It's just a barrier that you have to cross. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just all up here in your head. And if you can get out of your head and get out of your shell, the world is your oyster, and it will open up to you in ways that you never even knew were possible before.
It's so true.
I like to say I'm a extroverted introvert. I go out and make friends, make connections, and be a social butterfly. But at the end of the day, I like quiet. I like my peace. I like when no one's talking around me and I can just lock into my mind, which can be a scary thing because y'all don't even want to know what goes on in this brain up here. So
I feel the same, man. I love quiet. I am not afraid to be alone.
Yeah,
I am not afraid to be. I am really good at it. That's where all my good thoughts come. That's peace for me.
It's kind of scary how much I prefer to be alone over to be with people.
Dude, I love early, like in the mornings. There's two ways, and you may relate to this. Like for the longest time, it was me. I get up, go to the gym, high intensity workouts. And lately, and I don't know if it's the road thing or getting older, but my quiet mornings, like I love to sit with coffee and blank piece of paper. Yeah. And I just write my thoughts. Like those thoughts in the morning, man, are like, that's so cool. Like whatever comes out, because you get decision fatigue throughout the day.
Freshest,
it's the freshest, man. It's the golden hour. It's like, that's where a lot of cool ideas come. Yeah,
I think some of the probably some of the best ones you have are early morning time or really late night, and it's, I don't know if it's I think it's a mix of your brain being fresh too, but I've always been fascinated by the thought of it too. And it could be different because at different times of the world, but not everybody's up at that hour, not there's energy's not in motion as much as midday when everyone's just running around like a chicken with their head cut off trying to make $1, It's I'm big on first thing getting up and going to the gym or running, but there's nothing better than 15 for me, for 15 to 20 minutes of just sitting and just thinking about everything that I'm going to do in the day, and switching that mindset of thinking about everything I got to do and everything I get to do. I think that's been huge for me too.
Are you a big dreamer? Are you big like?
Yeah. I have
visualize things.
I meditation. I'll throw on some like meditation music. I mean, literally just go to YouTube, type in meditation music. Yeah. It's just a frequency. It just gets your brain in a certain state. And I'll vision. I'm a journaler. I got probably 4 or 5 notebooks up there that I've just filled over time, and I'm not perfect at it, and especially in the last year I think life's just gotten so busy that I haven't, but I think that that's the most important time to journal is when you're in those moments of busyness and chaos, because it's going to be the ones that slip out of your mind over time, and to have something to reflect back on. And even if it's just like, a couple sentences about what it is you did that day or how you're feeling, 6 years from now, if you flip back to that, you can be like, oh, okay, I was feeling that way because of this, and you'll remember that. As long as it can make sense to you. People overthink journaling and meditation through conversations that I've had with friends and peers. It's like, well, how do I meditate? It's like, I don't know. Figure out what works for you. Like sit in silence. I forget where I read it at. It was a statistic. It was like a study that was done. Don't know how accurate and everything, but it was like 92% of people, I want to say, don't quote me on the exact number, but it was like 92% of people can't sit in silence with their own thoughts for more than 15 minutes.
Dang.
And I'm just like, that's insane to me, because 15 minutes is just my warm up. I'm gonna need another 15.
Yeah.
But that part's crazy to me, but yeah, I love my silence, love my solitude. I haven't always been like that either. I think it's just something I used to be like the people pleaser, the outgoing, like just life of the party, center of attention. At least that's how I viewed it. It's all perspective game. It might not have been that at all, but that's how I approached, days and situations and events. But I don't know. I think just getting older, losing people, it shapes you. It makes you just, it messes with your mind. It makes you grow up, and I don't know. It's I've definitely changed over, and that's the point of it all. We're supposed to change. That's the whole point. But dude, fire episode. I appreciate you so much, guys. If you're tuned in, listening right now, if you're a photographer and videographer, and you're looking for a more efficient way to carry your camera equipment around, head over to the link in the description. I have the Condition 1 camera cases linked down there. I used to carry mine in a soft shell backpack for so long, and I don't know why, because it just made me look like an amateur, and then I broke a lens, and that's a whole nother topic that we won't get into. But you want to carry your equipment efficiently. You've spent thousands of dollars on it, so why not carry it in a hard shell case that's built to last, that's going to protect, it's all weatherproof, and the whole nine. So anyways, I got the link in the description. You can get 10% off using that if you want a new camera case. And if you don't, that's okay too, because I got 2 of mine, and my camera cases are awesome. They protect my camera equipment. I don't have to worry about anything breaking. So I got that linked in there. Adam Knowles, ladies and gentlemen, where can they follow you? Where can they find you on social if you want them to? You don't have to link it.
It's Adamain, Adamaine, like Adam with the state of Maine. Adamain.
Adamain.
Thank you for having me, bro.
That's dope. Sick. I never thought about that. Adamain.
I know. People thought
that's cool.
Yeah, my girlfriend's friends thought my name was Adam Maine.
Yeah.
But
I just thought it was like, one of those usernames you just picked early on and locked it in.
Yeah, it used to be A_D_man, Adamain.
Okay.
But Adamain was taken, so I went to Adamain.
Adamain.
I've
never mind blown.
Like, really? What did you think? What do you think it was? Just.
Oh, I didn't even
look at it like that.
Yeah, I didn't even look at. I just seen it. I'm like, this is cool. Like maybe it was just a username he just went with, but
I should probably put "kid from Maine" underneath it so people are like, "Oh, that's
being
right.
from Maine, Adamain."
Yeah, it's probably a little outdated now. Once you get older, you start changing a couple of your things. You're like, "Oh, my email is like." You know what I mean? You can't have like Saucy Boys 72 anymore. You know what I mean? You gotta kind of like, you gotta be more professional.
Yeah.
But no, Adamain, I like it. I don't know. It's.
Dude, I got so lucky with my handle. I secured Chris Rippy when Instagram damn near launched.
Yeah.
I've had like the same account through it all, and at one point I thought about changing it. I'm glad I didn't, because then someone would have snagged it. There's a couple Chris Rippies out there, but there's only one shot by Rippy, and he's right here hosting the Creatively Connected podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Knowles, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you, bro. This was a blast.
We appreciate it. Guys, I think this is episode 34, 35. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but If you've been tuning in to any of the previous episodes, thank you. We are dropping 2 episodes every single week for the rest of the year. I'm saying that out loud so you, the listeners, can hold me accountable to that. I got a busy schedule the rest of this summer and fall, but we're staying consistent. We're putting it out there. We're bringing fire conversations and experience and expertise to you guys from talented creatives. And I can't thank you enough for tuning in. Make sure to go follow Adam, support him in his journey. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.